my name is PolishLynx. I'm still a bit sick, but I need to do a recording, right? Anywho, let's check out the relationships. Hannah Plus, maxed out, and so on. Surprisingly, Luke was alright with everyone, and so on. Anyway, what happened in the last episode exactly? You might ask. I'll give you the answers when I scroll through all the pages. Alright, we have it. Luke Wright woke up to a storm raging outside and with his whole house eerily quiet. Power was still off and his butler was nowhere to be found, even when called. Taking his gun with him, he went out to investigate, and in the foyer of his own home... in spite of the danger Luke Wright posed. At the moment, Ashton lowered his gun and assumed an imploring tone towards the man he hated. Amidst the answer, a voice only echoed in the foyer. That happened actually in other rooms, but okay. There at the top of the grand staircase stood Hannah Wright. And angered, Luke demanded for Hannah's release from the woman. Although the woman eventually released his wife, there was anger and contempt in her face. All of a sudden, the whole house shifted. In a blink, blood and gore was everywhere. So basically, more or less, I get the gist of what exactly happened to that woman in the past, and why she would want revenge and so on. Let's continue now.
You don't belong here.
No, I don't.
Is it so difficult to grasp? We've been waiting.
For what? There is a moment of panic when the feeling of the tenderness around my limbs finally dissipates. As soon as my eyes adjust to the darkness of the room, and on my feet, and reaching for my knife, I'm holding it out, watching, waiting for every movement. Using it as a way to put distance between me and these peasants. Who knows what they will do? We are all desperate to get out of this house. There's only 7 of us in the room. 4 of them, friends at that. What? 5. I cannot trust these people not to turn on me. Bloody hell, even Hannah's giving the same looks as them now. For a minute has already gone loon, crouched in the corner and muttering to herself. You can't really say anyone's safe from her. If I think she's the one I should watch out for. I cannot trust anyone. Not anymore. Not after this. Despite the pleading looks, Lily shoots my way while they all huddle in the corner behind steel and feathers. But I have to remind myself that even people like her are capable of doing the unpleasant. She's only human after all. It's never an excuse. Why, even Hannah has her cunning, manipulative moments, for she does it much subtler than I. Where else would Lily show this letter to us than Dave, not to save herself? What? I guess that backfired on her, now that she and her own friends are also stuck here. Still, I have every right to believe it. Everything that would has fallen apart. All because these people came into our lives.
You! All of you!
Huh?
This is all your fault!
No, it's not.
If I'm dying to this bloody case, I'm taking you all down with me!
Put that knife down, Lucille.
Nice.
Hey now, Mr. Wright. I know the situation ain't good, but we have to calm down. We're all in the same boat here. You shut your mouth! If it weren't for you, or this letter, for all of you, none of this would have happened!
And blaming everyone in this room isn't going to get us out of this place.
Wow.
Please put that knife down, darling. You might hurt yourself.
Are you taking their side? You're also stuck in this nightmare, Buttercup! What about the children? Aren't you the least bit worried about them? That creature is out to get us, and you're still defending these people!
I'm not defending anyone, Luke. I'm just trying to be reasonable when you're clearly not.
True.
Oh, of course you're not. You're just the one who bought this bloody mansion to begin with. If I didn't know any better, you did this on purpose.
Hey. Dude, what is wrong with you right now?
Why, no! Why would I ever do that? This was only meant to be an anniversary gift. For you, for us, for the family we're going to have.
Right, anniversary gift. Oh, here's your gift, darling. Oh, by the way, there's a curse included in that package. I hope that's all right. Are you really that eager to get rid of me, Hannah? Because if that's what you've been meaning to do all this time, you might as well just put a knife in my back while I'm...
Suddenly, Hannah steps up and slaps the knife away from my hand. Said knife slides uselessly under the table out of my reach. Before my mind registers what's happening, a sharp blow explodes in the side of my head, sending me reeling backwards. Nice! Nice! She merely stands before me afterwards, without even batting an eye, glaring at me as if she might just rip my head off in an instant. Sometimes I forget.
Don't you dare, Luke! Don't you dare imply I've ever thought of you that way!
That Hannah is never the weak woman I believed her to be. How did I come to think of her as such? She used to be someone I can look up to, isn't she? When you look at her now, the way she stands tall facing a man like me, the same way she has done so all those years ago, I can't help but think, am I not responsible for taking that part of herself away from her? Enjoy your time as Miss Luke Wright. What a bunch of shite. Realizing this, I can only look away, when she reaches up and places a hand on my face. Gone is the anger, and only a soft smile remains while she looks at me with a shine in her eyes. These 7 years we've been together, I've only been nothing but a piece of shite to her. Yet here she is, still smiling at me the way she has done so many years ago. It's impossible not to feel like a complete and utter trash like this. She has an uncanny way of doing that to me, really, especially when she takes my hand in hers and places it right on her tummy. Right where 2 tiny babies are still growing. Ours.
Love, look at me. We've already talked about this. If we are still going to do this, it has to be the 2 of us. I will stay with you, but things are going to have to change if we want this to work.
Okay, here is a crazy question. Is she not seeing what's happening around? Because why are we talking about this, right?
We can't keep doubting each other like this.
Okay, that's true.
Not until we find a way out of here.
I'm sure we can. Maybe they know something we don't.
For example, what? You ruined our land for that? These peasants brought it on us?
Keep talking about us like that, and see if any of us here will keep you out of this place.
Rebecca, stop!
Exactly.
All of you stop this!
Nice. To hear Lee speak out loud, I can say I'm not surprised. She has always given me the impression of someone who so meek from the moment I met her, either from her inexperience or her station in life. She has never struck me as someone fitting to be a real estate agent. Until now! Quietly she puts herself between me and Daisy, cutting whatever cutting words we get to her let the other. The way she glares at me, it reminds me a little of the way my mom would look at me. Particularly when I've done something wrong, and it's not a stare she's unused to showing. She has done this before, probably to a younger sibling. Huh. If she only sees us now as a pair of squabbling kids, and not too much Ronald, well, that's only to be expected. No, that's how she sees us. For a long moment, there is only silence in the room. Still, the big oaf doesn't even dare break it, neither does Feathers. We both merely watching us bunch of wimps, these men. Not that it matters when Lee starts speaking again, after some of the anger and tension has lifted from the room.
Stop this, please! With or without that damn piece of paper,
A deep breath. An exhale. And then she closes her eyes. A crease formed between her eyebrows while she grips her hand tightly in front of her.
we still would have ended up in this mess.
Say what? How come? The atmosphere that descends into the room right after that admission is anything but pleasant. Can I call that an admission? It seems like it from the way her eyes nervously flick between her friends and I. How come? She appears to know more than she lets on, and how she makes herself appear smaller after dropping that bomb on us doesn't sit quite well with me. And patience is something I don't have the luxury of having right now and bestowing upon other people. What else does this girl know? What else is she not telling us? Because from the looks of this, even her friend has no idea. Have no idea what she's talking about. Unwilling to wait, I grab her arm before she retreats without explanation, weighing the letter still in my hand in front of her.
Ow! Sir, you're hurting me!
Exactly, how dare you?
Hey, hands off her, right?
Fuck off, Feathers. I have questions for your friend, and she better have the answers.
Luke, will you stop taking it out on every single person?
Your friend is hiding something, Daisy.
She struggles for a moment, but my hold eventually forces her to look up at me. Fear and uncertainty spreads across her features, especially when her eyes land on the damn paper. As far as I want to be constant right now, I want answers.
What do you mean, Lily?
I'm not sure about it.
Don't give me that, you know something!
Ow! Please, sir. I know the paper's useless, okay?
And the mention of the letter all of a sudden means stands. I was forgotten she's here, her rumblings having faded away in the shouting. Without warning, she snatched the paper out of my hand. Its mercury didn't rip right there and there, but the way she glares at it, I think she may want to do exactly that.
We should have gotten rid of this thing! We should have burned it at the first opportunity we got!
No, even if we rip it to shreds, it won't do anything. I think...
You don't know what I've seen, Santos. There were children! Victims! All because they had no idea what this thing will do to them! Oh God, those poor souls! They were screaming and begging before she...
Then what about those people they mentioned in the news lately? All those who died? My coworkers? The open house clients? None of them had seen it. Even Rose. And yet they're all dead. I should know. That letter has been with me since I picked it up. And I swear I didn't make copies of this thing. Even if I wanted to save myself, I wouldn't do that to my friends. Or anyone.
Is that what the trip to BRC was for?
Yes, I'm sorry. I couldn't tell you guys until I was certain. None of you believed me the first time. I had to find proof.
And yet we're all here! Are you taking me for a fool, Lily?
I have to go with whiskey on this. Who knows how many has already seen this before you found it? This cursed thing has to go!
And what you think just burning the letter would help? That makes no sense.
We would have ended up here either way. Maybe? I really don't know. Sir, please. All I know is that paper isn't the reason why all of this is happening. There's something else that...
This place.
Still has been quiet this entire time. The sound of him talking, however whispered it is, still managed to catch us all off guard. We'll pause, turning to him with likely the same questions in our eyes.
What?
I just remembered something a friend told me. You know, stuff about ghosts or curses. You probably don't want to hear it.
No, it might be something. What about this place, Zach?
There's still a moment where he hesitates, but Lily's urging eventually spurs him into speaking.
Remember what I told you the last time you and Ash visited? A few days ago?
You mean what Andrew told you? Those were just stories, Zach. It might not even help.
Regardless, still pauses while he allows Lily to remember. Soon enough, whatever it downs on her, and her face lights up with something like hope. Of all things, is this sniper hope? Her head snaps up and she reaches for Steel's arm to give it a squeeze. A resonance confirmation. The meaning is lost even to Daisy, who glances at them baffled.
Belle, what are you... Becca, it's this place. What? You mean, like, burn this place down?
I still think we should get rid of this letter before we start thinking of destroying a place with some historical value!
What? No? We are not burning a multi-million-pound mansion, you peasants! I just spent a fortune on this!
Seriously, Luke, are you really more worried about that?
Popping up mansion, millions. It's going to take years getting all that money back.
Well, you certainly won't be getting any of that money if you're dead. Really, Luke? Is that more important than your life?
Bloody fucking hell! Not only do I have trespassers on my property, but they're also arsonists!
It's not only that. Think about it.
Then they proceed to tell some ridiculous narrative about the supernatural. Stories about ghosts, legends, curses born out of great anger and pain, and whatever else people use to scare children. Not that I believe any of it, as if knowing will help. Bunch of loons, these people, officially of their rockers. To think I'll be stuck in this nightmare with people like them. What did I ever do to the world? Of course, it's all absurd until...
I think it's just like what the professor guy said. Just like that old story. This mansion and some other thing might be keeping her here. You know, something he wanted in life, but never got to have. Something like that.
Or maybe it's not something, Zachary.
Someone. The who doesn't have to be uttered out loud. There's only one person in this room who that woman calls after. Every single one of them has heard it. Only hell, it's in their reluctant shift in Daisy's eyes when they flicker over to me, for only briefly. She's also holding information of her own, or perhaps a realization she just had. Doesn't matter. I know when people have slowly started to turn on me. How do you think I lasted in this cutthroat war? Betray them before they do the same thing to you. Put a knife in their back before they can act. Kill or be killed. Survival, in a nutshell. What now? Are they going to throw me at that creature, see what happens to save themselves? I'm no fool.
No. You're all in on this, aren't you?
Are you people implying that my husband, that we should just...
Of course! Of fucking course!
Luke, that isn't what I...
Are you all going to stoop that low?
It's nothing like that, Ash. All we're saying is that maybe he might be able to do something about this.
Drop it, you guys. We're not leaving anyone here.
Just like that, their bickering begins anew. Bloody peasants. My head's already aching just listening to them, to think this is all the solution they can come up with. I should have just stopped all of them and made a run for it. It doesn't help that with each second spent talking here, the crazier this whole place gets. The voices have become louder and sounding more vicious. If the things in this room start floating, mark my words, I will fucking flip out. And they may not be thinking of it right now, but eventually, they'll turn on me, such is the nature of humans. Better find a way out of this place as soon as possible. If I want to stay alive. Fuck, I still have so much to do. None of our choices seem sound, but who knows? We don't understand the shite about this place. Might as well try everything, yeah? Whatever works. If I also have to be the one to make that blood decision, so be it. Less room for errors. We're the only sane one doing the thinking. On the off chance I'm wrong, well, I suggested it. Burn the letter, or burn the mansion. I mean, I already said that burning the letter might not be really helpful. On the other hand, will burning the mansion do anything? If we burn the letter, they might eventually try burning the freaking mansion as well, right? But on the other hand, if we try to burn the mansion, they might try to burn the letter as well. Right, let's try doing the thing that will not be dangerous to everyone. Whatever. And it's... on the other hand... it's a decision to make, especially with these cries growing louder. I'm getting tired of it, really. I'm not sure if that was really a good choice, but... Damn it. I've been sick sucks. Like, seriously? Recording is so freaking hard right now. Anyway, I'm getting tired of it, really. Well, yeah, but I simply have to act fast, think fast. And what else is the root cause of our problems but that letter? It's not, but whatever, no need to make things more complicated. It started from there. Why won't it end there? If what Min has said is true, then there is all the more reason to destroy it. Put an end to this madness before anyone can think of passing it on to someone else. Before this situation can stretch on far too long for my taste, I snatch the blasted paper away.
Give me that.
For a second she appears offended, until I take out Mom's lighter. The sight of it shuts them all up. But I have no need for their opinion. In the next moment I'm already setting the letter on fire. And it doesn't take too long for the thing to catch fire. It's old, for heaven's sake. If I make sure none of the ashes end up on anything flammable, it will be an inferno inside this study with all the books and documents stored here. Not that a big lane is anything to worry about in this case. In fact, in a matter of minutes, the thing has turned to ashes on the floor. With nothing left to burn through, the fire dies, fades into the thin air in a whiff of smoke, leaving only the awful scent of burnt paper in the room. But as the last of the paper turns into cinders, a sharp agonized wail echoes from some dimension, before quickly dying out, taking with her the horror she has brought upon the mansion. Slowly before our eyes, the mansion changes again. Blood fading from the walls, ceilings, and the floor, returning the place to its old beauty. Gone is the darkness, quickly replaced by the artificial lights in the room. Even the smell of blood and gore has completely disappeared from the room. Perhaps the only thing undesirable left are the dumbfounded looks they are giving me.
See, wasn't that easy? For fuck's sake, you people need to get your heads checked. How did you all make it this far in life with that kind of thinking? Well, you can all thank me later for this. You may now show yourselves out of my property before I call the police on you simpletons.
I walk out of the study without a single glance back at them, more than eager to finding that fresh air. They can find their way out of this place, I'm sure. I better not catch them again here, or I will not be happy. That was way too easy. If that's how it is, that was way too easy. Outside there's only silence. Deafening. Still. The same hush that comes after a terrible storm has swept the countryside. And with it, from the wide open windows, is the sight of the sun rising above the horizon. Ever so slowly, the sky begins to lighten before my eyes. Darkness giving way to the warm morning hues, soft rays spilling over the vast expanse of Luxembourg's countryside. Nearby, the trees sway and rustle with the breeze, a passing draft that carries even into this room from outside, cold enough to make me shiver. The remains of a storm that has passed. In the distance, I can hear the soft chirping of birds, while the rest of the world stirs, waits. Down at last. We are free. Are we? Seriously? For undisclosed reasons to the public, the mansion is put back on the market months later, while Breher Realty Corporation faced criminal charges filed by one Luke Wright. After the news of the lawsuit broke out and the realty company's declaration of bankruptcy, rumors quickly spread across Luxembourg City. But for those who still believe in the stories of the old, and those who know the truth, it is but a testament to the curse and the secrets of the Emmer Garden mansion has hidden for centuries. If there will come a time, those will finally be revealed on the hollowed halls of the mansion now. To this day, it stands silent. However, on nights when the wind howls and thunder booms across the sky, some still claim hearing of voices within, of cries and wails that fill the nights and desperate calls for help for anyone who dares listen. As for those who once tread its halls, despite their problems, Luke and Hannah Wright managed to salvage their 7-year marriage. Yes! Not without its fair share of challenges, of course, especially for Luke. But for the sake of their children, he tries, although the man still fears fatherhood, afraid of becoming like his father was to him. However, without help from Hannah, he eventually comes around, especially when the twins are born. He's still far from being a good father, he thinks will never be. There are parts of him that will always remain unpleasant and will exasperate Hannah to no end. But even someone like him sees the joy in this, in having a family. For the first time in a long while, he admits he's content. They are happy. Huh? Seriously? Months after her recovery, Marianne McCullough heads back to her homeland, ready to close a chapter of a past she has left hanging for so long. There she visited Lorraine's grave, asking for forgiveness from the girl she once loved, something she has intentionally avoided for years. Although the terror of what she has witnessed inside the Ermengarde mansion still clings to her, she bravely chooses to move on from it. Trying a new leaf by focusing on a new branch of her interior design company, and leaving her interior design company at Luxburn in the hands of her secretary instead. Although she never returns to the city after, she is frequently seen visiting to check on the people she has become acquainted within her years there. Having finally accepted herself, she won't deny she's in a happier place now. Despite making the Ireland branch of her interior design company her focus now, Marianne continues to cater to her most avid patrons in Luxburn when requested. And after her work on the Ermengarde mansion, the Wright couple, particularly Hannah Wright, have never trusted another to handle the design for any of the plays they own. Upon moving to their new place after giving birth to hers and Luke's children, Marianne's name is the first thing she calls, while the woman is quickly flying back to see that the socialite summons, not only helping with the decorations of the new place, but also assisting with the renovations much to Hannah's delight. Since then, the two women has kept a close friendship. Often they can be seen going around town together when Marianne's in town, and Hannah can be heard recommending the designer to her peers during parties. In the city, often keeping an ear out for any gossip, one can deny that both women have found a confidante in the other. With help from family and friends, Zachary still is soon able to open a photography studio of his own, something he has only dreamed of having as a child. Although he still hopes to get back to making indie film movies, someday, client work and small projects has kept him mostly busy. Hectic as it may be, he can only be glad for the amount of work pouring in. It has made moving on from the incident in the Ermengarde mansion easier, if not faster. But while there are still nightmares, with support from his family, his doctor, and his own drive, the dark images have finally turned into pleasant dreams. He's aware he won't ever truly forget, but he's no longer running away. At times when he's not busy, or after a hard day's work, he thinks there is another story for the big screen to be told in that. An idea he may soon turn to reality once his time affords it. In the months that follow, Rebecca Gales becomes a prominent researcher within Luxbur's major academic circles, especially after writing what she has discovered about Ansel Village and the Ermengarde mansion. With help from Professor Andrew Clark, she is soon able to secure funding to continue her research, presenting her findings yearly at local and international symposiums. Now at the tail end of her current study, she hopes to publish her first book, correcting all inaccuracies in the city's current history. A move supported by both colleagues, students, and friends alike. For she knows she still has a long way to go before she can even begin to change people's minds about it. Professor Clark has warned her as much. She perseveres. Doing it not for herself, but for the sake of history the future generation must never forget. No matter how disarming her experience with the curse may have been, she remains the warrior she has always been. Even after what she has seen, she continues to fret over people she cares about, sometimes much to their frustration or embarrassment. But if there is one thing that has shifted, it's her relationship with the people in their little group. Particularly with Zachary Steele. What? In fact, on numerous occasions she has been spotted dropping by his new studio, bringing the man food on days when he's swamped with work. What? They also seem to have grown more comfortable around each other than before. What? Maybe it's born out of their shared experience. Or maybe the way they see each other has simply changed naturally due to the years they've known each other. I smell a romance here! Regards some wine, it's a change the man welcomes and appreciates. In turn, he strives to return her kind gestures whenever he can. For all the horrors they see, who would have thought something good will come of it? Things have inevitably become strained between Ashton Frey and Rebecca in the months following her confession. Alright, give me a second. Rebecca. Shit, that's why! God damn it, I need one more point here. And with their lives getting easier, the two have eventually drifted apart. Although neither talks about it and the teacher still strives to forget an old love, it's clear to Rebecca that there are still feelings left she couldn't let go of. Even however, this has only made it obvious how much has changed between them, and how much she has clung to the idea of Ashton from their younger days, the one that may not have been there in the first place. Merely an idea for a starry-eyed young girl. But if there will be a time, she will be able to accept this, to move on from the hurt and repair an old friendship that has fallen to ruin only she does. Amid her struggles, Rebecca finds an unlikely companion in Luke Wright. While being a father has kept him busy nowadays, he still manages to make time for his goddaughter, Kylie Suarez, for the man still won't admit it when he asked. Rebecca still regards the man as insufferable. She doubts it will ever change. But after all she has seen, much as she denies it, she now considers his presence the closest thing she has to comfort. A similar sentiment the businessman seems to hold, even confiding in the woman of his own problems and fears, things he couldn't voice out to his wife. Their friendship may be awkward at best, but with the grim reality of death having once shadowed over the two of them, it's something they eventually grow fond of in time. With her newfound courage, Isabel Santos finally chooses to pursue what she really wants for herself. Having made enough to keep her family afloat for a few years, and with their blessing, she quits her job at Briar Royalty Corporation and takes the scholarship over from the local university. For remarkably out of practice and unsure if she'll be able to keep up by the time she returns to university, she finds her feet soon enough with help from people close to her. And with her confidence in her skills growing, so do the number of people recognizing her and her work. It doesn't take long for several award-giving bodies to take notice of her. Yes! For all her accomplishments, however, she has never truly forgotten what happened at the Ermengarde mansion. The images still remain her, and on particularly unpleasant nights, terrors continue to visit her dreams. God damn it. She knows those won't ever disappear from her life. It has become a part of her in the same way death has permanently taken from her. However, she is no longer afraid. And with a brave face she carries on, earnestly wishing that someday she'll be able to find brighter, more vivid thoughts on her canvas. An honest portrayal of life and hope amidst the fear. Shortly after accepting the scholarship grant from the Luxembourg University, Isabel moves from summer residence in favor of staying in the room close to her campus. Although Rebecca again is quick to offer assistance for the move, she doesn't she'll be missing her neighbor for more than 5 years. When all is said and done, she has become fonder of the girl over the years, and with their shared experience over the curse, they have only grown closer. Isabel leaves with a promise to visit every once in a while. And even though she is still joking complaints about Rebecca's bossy attitude, she confesses that she also misses the woman's fusing. After all, in a place miles away from her real family, Rebecca is still the closest thing she has to a sister. More than a year later, once everything in the respective lines have settled, Zaharsi and Isabel Santos finally hold their first exhibit together. A project has been in the making for almost 2 years, after the photographer casually brought it up to the other artist. While merely intended as a small event, it has been surprisingly attended by several members of Luxembourg's upper class and art enthusiasts. Although only a few of the pieces have been meant for sale, the show has brought prominence to Zahar and Isabella's names in the city's art scene. It has since been followed by several other exhibits by the two, both in and out of the city. Currently they are planning to hold their first show overseas. Yet even with this unexpected overwhelming fame, friendship between the two has remained strong. Theirs, after all, is a bond that goes beyond being mere partners in a small project. He is her family as much as she is his. While she's aware she still has plenty of ways to go, getting back to school has also opened a lot of opportunities for Isabella. At times, part-time work have started to come in droves and she is able to support herself financially through her art alone. Something she has only dreamed of as a child. Is it, Marianne? And when clients are generous enough, she's able to send money back home, as well despite her family's reassurances. One such client is Marianne McCullough's interior design company, who frequently commissions her for murals after the woman has learned of her skill. For at times, she finds it difficult to keep up with the interior designer's standard for quality. It's a job and a challenge she's only too happy to accept, if it means doing what she loves. Following his success in bringing several major cases to close, Ashton Frey receives a recommendation for transfer to the Luxembourg's lead agency against organized crimes. An endorsement eagerly backed by the newly appointed successor to the late Chief Inspector Lee, Abigail Harris. Who? Knowing he'll have more resources, leeway, and a bigger chance and ultimately bring Luke right to justice, Ashton Frey accepts. He still warns the people close to him against Wright and his associates, but only a friendly reminder now, more than anything. For he does worry, he believes they are wise enough to know what they are doing and trusts their judgment. For now, he has decided to leave the evidence, and he'll ought to speak for himself and take care of the man once the proper time comes. Nowadays, Paul's work and operations keep him busy, sometimes taking him away from the city he grew up in for days on end. A rare thing for him to enjoy once upon a time, yet this time he never loses his drive. Simply growing more determined after having finally found a clear purpose close to the rush and excitement he dreamed of as a child. Although Ashton still keeps mum about specific details of his work, his experience with the curse has slowly taught him how to open up. Especially to those who he knows that genuinely care for him. He still has a long way to go, he knows that, but for the sake of the people who are still with him, those who have chosen to stay, he hopes that there will come a day when he no longer has to hide behind his own lies. A day when he is no longer afraid of facing the truth in his own words. On his days off, Ashton is usually seen loitering around Zachary Steele's studio, either helping out on one of his pet projects or exasperating the other men on purpose. Either it's mostly the latter. At certain times, he'll want to do model for one of the Zach's projects, in spite of the photographer's reassurances that it's not needed. Regardless, Ashton insists before complaining how meticulous the whole process is hours later, to Zach's utter amusement. Though sometimes they may get into small trivial arguments, things have stayed cordial between the two. If anything, the ordeal they've both gone through has merely strengthened a friendship the detective didn't expect to find anyone. Oh! After a bit of fumbling of a few missteps here and there and moments of briefly allowing their uncertainties to hang over them, Ashton Frey and Isabella Santos finally find a ready. Theirs isn't a soaring love story by any means, nor is it a happily ever after. Often told in the picture books, the girl has only ever dreamed of having in childhood. Far from it, in fact, despite what people glimpse their eyes or glean in their gestures, they both know better than to cling to ideals. A stranger will say they're in love, hopelessly, genuinely, and there is certainly truth in it. One only has to look. However, what they never see is this. Beyond the soft smiles, fleeting glances, and gentle touches only meant for the other is a grief. And terror that never seems to lift. Constantly filling their nights with echoes of an unforgiving wail and unwelcome dreams that stir either awake in the darkest hours of dawn. It has never truly left them, and it never will. The same way the light scar on Ashton's hand will never fully heal. Or the horrid images in Isabella's mind will never fade. But they cope. In hushed whispers and tender assurances, with light kisses and long embraces, When that no longer suffices, when the horrors become too much for them to bear, they have each other. A warmth to hold on to in the coldest of nights. And for them, it is more than enough. Alright, everything is cool and all, but I'm still super curious what exactly held that girl in that freaking house. Like, details of her past, I need those. Maybe the answers appear when you clear all the freaking roots. I mean, because there are a ton of choices and there are a ton of outcomes in this game. I don't need to say that this is an awesome game, right? I was saying this all the time. Because this is probably one of the most detailed, one of the most one of the basically biggest build game when it comes to choices and the possible outcomes I've played so far. With freaking astonishing CGs, with really good music, plus it has those mini events which are not visual novel events, but you know, like kinda quick time events, so that's a nice thing. Oh, someone added me to the friend list. I have no clue how that is doing. Whatever. That's Maria singing, isn't she? I think that's her. That's really a good voice, by the way. Right, I don't know for how long the credits will go. Doesn't matter really what. I will not be obviously doing other roots on YouTube. I should stop doing roots here, I think. I don't think there are roots. There are very various endings for each character. So. But yeah, my goal was to somehow manage to keep everyone alive. And I guess the letter page 2. Let's. Alright, you know what? But I honestly have no freaking clue what we might expect from the letter 2 if there was. Oh, there is something more.
Tio? Where are you, Tio?
Oh, you've got to be freaking kidding me right now.
Tio? Please? She's here! She's still here, Tio!
got to be fucking kidding me, man. Are you... Well, so basically, if I were using a face cam, you would literally see me staring at the screen with my mouth completely open because of the shock of what they presented here. Like, what the heck? Wow. Dear you, if you're reading this, that means you've finished playing the game in one way or another, and we thank you for the time you spent in playing the letter. This game is our passion project more than anything, and we sincerely hope we delivered in. Bring you a one-of-a-kind visual novel experience. The letter is hopefully the first of many visual novels coming from us. The next one is Love Esquire, right? The letter is hopefully... if you like what we did with this game and would like to support us, please consider donating to our Patreon account. I'm afraid I don't have the money for this. You can also follow us on social media to get the latest updates. Yes, I can do this. I already do that. Our usual handle is Young Mobile. Thank you so much for everything. Let's talk soon. Love. Young Mobile Team. And now I notice I always make the mistake because I write Young with capital letter in the second Young with capital letter as well, but it's not like that. I know I write like this, but alright, this would be it. Holy shit, that after credits really broke me right now. Like, I didn't expect that. I really did not. Or maybe I actually did. However, I totally did not expect Kylie to be there. Right now I'm completely dumbfounded. I mean, I don't know, maybe it's like burning that letter actually worked. However, every single person that have seen the letter had to be in the presence of the attempt of burning the letter, and because Kylie wasn't there, the freaking coast girl was still able to be near her. On the other hand, she was still appearing in the dreams of the people, right? This is so messed up. Alright, let's end it here. I'm gonna be taking some of my medicines, and I think I will record some new game after that. I don't know what yet, but I'll have to make a quick decision once I look into the library. Anywho, hope you enjoyed the letter. Hope to see you in the next game. Until then, bye bye. This game is a masterpiece, by the way.